Kriv was born into the dragonborn Dardendrian clan, a clan famous for the extensive knowledge of martial arts of some of its members and for their performance avoiding war with Shez Center. Kriv was born big and strong, with the gleaming silver metallic scales of his ancestors. For his clan and his family, he was great pride, and they saw him grow up showing deep potential day after day. At the age of 2, they began to train him in martial arts, and at 3 years of age he already stood out above the other younglings, presenting a greater potential than other dragonborn, some of them even older than him. However, when Kriv was 5 years old, his potential success was cut short when one morning his trainer was found frozen to death. Since Kriv was the only one of the Dardendrian at that time with ice breath, they blamed him and sentenced him to exile, removing the Dardendrian clan from his name and calling him since that day Frozen Kriv. He was innocent, but no one else knew that. Without a place to call home, exiled and without a clan, he became an outcast to the dragonborn, whose most important value is always their clan. Faced with this dishonorable situation, he headed north without rest, until some months later a high snowy peak crossed his path. At the top he found the remains of an ancient temple abandoned centuries ago, totally camouflaged and preserved under the snow and ice. There he spent an entire decade meditating, training in martial arts, and studying everything he could find in the temple's library. 8 years later, Kriv found a book in the library that told the story of how some ancient wandering monks found centuries ago a kind of artifact of unknown origin on that same mountain. Without thinking twice, they set up a provisional camp and began to study the artifact. In time, the camp became their new home, and their new home a temple they built by themselves. Over time, those monks set themselves a new mission in life, to find out the origin of what they called the Frozen Relic, to discern its nature and its usefulness. However, centuries passed and generations of monks followed one another without anyone knowing why the relic was surrounded by ice that did not melt, where it came from, or even what it was. Kriv kept on looking for every single book in that library that could give him any clue about that artifact. Nonetheless, everything that appeared on them were failed experiments and mere theories, since no one was able to find out any clear information about this relic. Weeks later he found a little notebook with handwritten instructions about where to find this object. Faced with such a discovery, Kriv set off to the place where the artifact was supposed to lay, the inner courtyard of the temple. However, there was no trace of the artifact. The only thing that was there was that strange fountain, located in the center of the room, which had low-relief inscriptions written in the dragonborn language. They said, "Speak from within, and see." All of this didn't make any sense. Kriv spent months researching and studying all the possibilities and all the known artifacts related to the dragonborn. Until one evening, tired and furious at the lack of progress around all these books about the fountain and the ancient relic, he shouted out with all his might, inadvertently unfolding his ice breath on the fountain right in front of him. Upon contact with his breath, the fountain began to creak, rotate and move until it revealed a metallic spherical piece, full of strange reliefs and symbols. At the touch of his hand, the blanket of ice that surrounded it began to crack and melt. It was clear now, the relic definitely had some connection to the dragonborn. Seeing that there was nothing else of use left for him in that temple, determined to solve this mystery, he carried the relic with him and went on a journey around the world to discover everything he can about the Frozen Relic and the mysteries that surround it.